name is Ishrat Hossain. So my presentation compared to the last 2-3 months will be much less quantitative. So I think you have enough of your maths, data. So this is about digital Aroth Sales Center, a scalable model for inclusive agri-supply chains in Bangladesh. And actually my lead author, Mostafizur Rahman from Uttara University, he could not join, so I'm presenting, and obviously many of the details is from him, but myself and Dr. Simeon are also part of it. It has a food security content to it, so you'll see some, the theme is very similar to the food security. But it's actually a functional model and functional activities are going on. So we're just going to present it from a very qualitative point of view, not much of any quantitative as of now, but that's for the future. So, so let's have a quick look at agriculture in Bangladesh. As probably many of you who know a little bit about Bangladesh, agriculture is the lifeline of Bangladesh, especially in the rural areas. Majority of the labor force still in Bangladesh are involved in agriculture, even though it only contributes to 20% of the GDP. So that obviously points out that there must be some productivity issues or a few other structural problems why so many people are working, but it only contributes so less to the GDP. Out of all the people who are involved in agriculture, smallholders, farmers are the vast majority. There isn't really much of a commercially industrial agriculture yet, so most of the farmers are very small scale. But the growth rate, as you understood, the growth rate in agriculture is very low, and it has so many structural problems. Agri-supply chains remain very fragmented, with excessive intermediation, means there are a lot of intermediaries, middlemen who are obviously adds to many of the problems we have. Logistics and infrastructure is very weak. Smallholder farmers face very low price realization, which means the profit margin is very low for them, and many times they may even sell it at a loss. They have a limited storage capacity. They also doesn't have much of a digital access as of now. So if we look at all of those things, Agro, which is a startup company, and I personally am also a little bit involved with them as an advisor. What they're doing, they developed a DASC, what we call in short. It's a hybrid model which combines physical aggregation hubs and a digital marketplace. So there's a physical component and there's a digital component. So it's a hybrid model. So why this DASC is important, or why is this study important? So this DASC addresses a long chain of intermediaries, inefficiency, opacity, and exclusion. All the usual problems, the structural problems that we have in the country. It enables the traceability, inclusive participation, and financial literacy to empower the smallholder. Because one of the problems is smallholders doesn't have any bargaining power, so they're very much, less power. So at least this model will hope to empower them, to give them some extra, margin or whatever you say, or a better bargaining power, right? So the study that we are presenting, it provides a conceptual model. As I say, it's not a quantitative as of now. There is a plan to do the pilot studies after a while. So for now, it's a conceptual model for scaling hybrid agri-tech solutions in Bangladesh and actually beyond, because there are many other countries who face very similar problems. As I said, it's a qualitative, it's a framework-based approach using secondary sources. Agro has a lot of internal documents as they are trying to, set up for pilot studies and different funding schemes they're trying to attract. And also we are looking at the platform architecture and the pilot description, as I say, to kind of set up this study. So what is the framework? There are different stages. First, we start with the input access. Certified suppliers and digital ordering gives the farmer, better quality inputs. So DASC is also involved in that initial stage of inputs. Then they will offer storage and logistics. That means they will have regional hubs in different parts of the country, different agricultural center, which obviously will help them to reduce the losses. Then there will be market linkages, so there will be apps provided, digital apps provided, which will connect the farmers to the buyers. Means they will have access to the institutional buyers. They will have real-time market prices, so they're not going to be only depending on the middleman, whatever they say, they have to follow that. Then there will be digital traceability, QR coded inventory, which will ensure quality, where it's coming from, where it's going. So at least we have some ideas which gives the confidence to the buyers. And there will be inclusive participation, means many of the women who are left out. There are many women directly or indirectly involved in agriculture also. And sometimes they don't have the access to play any kind of role in these supply chains. So this will give them some access. There will be inclusivity from the access, and the literacy also will be a focus, mostly digital literacy. So why it matters? So the most studies emphasize the environmental and the technical aspects of digital agriculture, but they ignore the holistic approach to it, integrated value chain design. There are limited research on hybrid models, which combines the physical and the digital systems. So DASC will bridge this gap by uniting logistics, digital, trade, and inclusion. So that's kind of more of a holistic approach. And it creates a closed loop value chain linking the production to the consumers. So what are the key findings this framework provides? Input access, verified suppliers ensure quality. So that means the farmers will know where they're buying from and the quality of it. Without it, many times they go to the local sellers and sometimes you don't know what you are getting. So in this case, it will be only the verified suppliers with better quality inputs, which obviously adds to the productivity of the production. Then there will be market linkage, as is digital matching of buyers and sellers, which gives them, as I said, more control over their own prices, fair pricing for the farmers. Then also they will match with institutional buyers also. So the point here is farmers will have better chance of getting a fair price, and they will have the control over the pricing, not depending on the intermediate middleman people. Logistics, warehousing and aggregation, which reduce the post-harvest losses, a lot of cold storage kind of thing, which is also a problem in a country like Bangladesh with the low infrastructure, low physical warehousing and all those things. So that's also it will contribute. Digital interface, the QR coded traceability and the dashboards. So that is also gives them more traceable kind of process. As I said, inclusion, trade facilitators will support the women and the smallholders to make them more aware of the many of the digital technology and digital platforms. So if we look at the sustainability dimensions, there are economic benefit, higher returns through reduced intermediaries, right? So the margin will be more to the smallholder now. Technical, which again improve traceability and less of a wastage. Social part would be gender inclusion and the financial literacy. Environmental part would be less transport, inefficiency and reduced food waste. So it actually covers many of the important dimensions. Policy implications, well, DASC framework, it demonstrates that hybrid models which combines the physical and the digital infrastructure, it can actually transform the agri-supply chains. And the good thing is, there are many other regions all over the world who have similar kind of structural problem. And this framework is scalable across many of those regions, and it offers a replicable framework for resilient and fair agricultural markets in, as I said, in other parts of the world also. So what about the policy? Well, it kind of points to public-private investment in rural digital hubs. Many of the Wi-Fi or many of the internet options are very advanced in the cities or in the urban areas, but rural still a little bit lagging behind. So that's where more investment should be made. Integration of DASC-like models in the subsidy program, especially in countries like Bangladesh or many other countries which are plagued by corruption, inefficiency, and many times government provide a lot of subsidies to the inputs or other ways, but many of those go wasted due to corruption, due to other inefficiencies. So DASC will kind of again offer them some kind of traceable way of delivering all those inputs, all those subsidy to the farmer. So that is also going to, kind of increase the public the trust of the public system. And obviously, countries like Bangladesh cannot afford to have many of the wastes, cannot afford to have many of the losses that from the public funds. So this will help to reduce those kind of losses in the subsidy programs. And gender inclusive training and rural broadband expansion should be encouraged, should be promoted, and where government obviously has to play a very important role. So that's kind of a quick presentation about this framework. And again, this agro-MOOCAM is actually working right now. So they are actually functional, especially in the input side. The output side, we still haven't completely developed yet, and that is the next phase. So this is not just in paper. Actually, there are things happening, and hopefully, the next stage there will be a better kind of outcome we are expecting. Thank you.